Hello, everybody.
Hi.
My name is Darren.
I'm Graham.
And I've been to the cinema to see a film called Wind River. I want to say Wind River.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
Should I have? Is it important? Is it an important film by an important director starring important actors?
Yeah.
Yeah? Wind River?
Yeah.
Wind River?
Wind River. It could be Winter River, but I think it's Wind River. It tells the story. I didn't know what it was about when I went to watch it yesterday. It tells the story of some snowy place in America, but where Native Americans also live. It's modern day.
Like Camp Mojave or something like that?
Oh. Is that snowy and also where Native Americans live? No. Oh, it's probably not there then. So, Jeremy Renner is a hunter.
As usual.
Why as usual?
He plays that kind of character, doesn't he?
This film did very much
Strong
feel
but
like
silent.
the Hawkeye version of Logan. Like, this could be a sequel that's grittier and where he's ended up.
That's interesting. So he had a bow and arrow.
No, he had a sniper rifle, but, you know, he needed to be a good shot with it.
So it was like a precursor to, like, The Hurt Locker, where he was in, like, the army.
Could also be a sequel to The Hurt Locker.
Prequel.
Why prequel?
Doesn't he die?
In The Hurt Locker? Don't think so.
Spoiler?
Don't
think
so.
Alright. Prequel.
So anyway, so he plays a hunter in this snowy Native American place.
Is he wind or is he river?
Neither.
Oh.
There is no wind or rivers in this movie.
Really?
Actually, there is a bit where the snow looked really fake, and I was just like, that snow looks really fake. And then I noticed that even though it was really thick on screen, none of it was bouncing off his hat or onto him, so it really was fake.
That's a shame.
Yeah. So anyway, so he finds a frozen body of a woman who has had to run 6 miles in the snow barefoot, would you believe? And she was raped. So
Was she raped at the start or the end?
Well, I don't want to spoil the movie for you.
Okay, right.
Do you mean like body-wise? It was the end.
Yeah, okay.
So an FBI agent, I think, you know, a city police
City
person
slicker
comes from the big town to go, what's this going on here?
Is that Jeremy Renner?
No, that's Scarlet Witch. Jeremy Renner is the hunter. Scarlet Witch is the policewoman.
Miss Olsen.
Yeah.
One of them.
One of the Olsen
Okay, so it really is a bit like...
No, that's the bit that ruined it. There was another person from the MCU in it as well. No, he could work. But I don't want to ruin who that is.
Okay.
So anyway, so she's like, you know, so basically she's like, we need to solve this murder, and the, what's his name, you know those ones that like dead people? What are they called?
Necrophiliac?
I want to say pathologist. Is that the right one?
Probably.
Yeah, well, the guy that like looks at the dead person in the morgue that isn't Jimmy Savile. He's like, well, it wasn't murder. Well, it was murder, but like she didn't die of murder. She died of the cold or something. So I can't put that down. He said, you know, you can charge someone with the murder, and I'll sign off on anything like, but I can't say that she was killed by a human. I have to say she was killed by the cold.
Wow.
And then the policewoman's like, well, that's fucking shit, because if you don't say that it's a person, then my mates from the big town won't come and help me. And he's like, well, fucking says it as it sees it, mate. You know?
I'm doing my job.
Yeah, so she's like, well, fuck it, we'll just delay me here and I'll try and help solve it. And then she's like to Jeremy Renner, you know the lay of the land, will you help me? And he's like, yeah. And then the silly old bitch, yeah, she's looking for clues, but he sees the land.
No way.
She's like, what's this murder weapon? He's like, ignore that, there's some fucking footprints in the snow.
All right.
That's an exaggerated version of it, but it's basically that.
It's all very casual in your retelling.
Yeah, it was a lot less casual when I was watching it.
It was a lot more dramatic.
It was written by, I want to say, and directed by, certainly Sheridan is one of the names. I don't want to say Tyler Sheridan. He wrote
one of them.
Sicario and Hell or High Water, and considers this the third in his American Frontier trilogy.
All right.
He is not as good a director as the previous two films had, but he is a very good writer. And so it was a pretty good film.
Okay. Wow.
I very much liked it.
Pretty good film. I didn't get that impression from your retelling. I thought you were quite blasé about all of it and very casual about...
You know, I once worked at Astor as a chilled colleague, and they hired the right guy. Not to do that, I didn't do it in the end. But, you know.
Yeah.
So...
Still. They interviewed for a chilled man.
And they got one. Then they didn't have any work for him.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, yeah.
So... Yeah, so it was interesting to watch because obviously the writing is consistent between all three films because it's the same writer, but the directing quality differs because one of them is a writer and not a director. And it really makes you appreciate how much input a director has on a script because
Okay.
you know you'd think like the script is the be all and end all, and they
Okay.
just work from the blueprint, but you can see how they've worked their own styles in, or you know, tweaked his script based on the things that are in this that are like, because sometimes it's really gritty and you know clever and all the rest, and then sometimes it does something really stupid, not stupid, but you know something really cliched or whatever.
Right.
You think like, oh, a good director would have got rid of
Well,
that.
you would have cut that out. Yeah.
Like for example in
Okay.
Sicario, apparently Benicio del Toro's character was originally quite chatty, and then they were like, no, let's get rid of all that.
Yeah, literally all of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that adds some mystery.
All right.
So, you know, that kind of thing where another collaborator would have been useful, I think. But then, so I was thinking, like, all the way through, like, this is almost really good, but not quite. And then the last, like, 20 minutes kicked in, and it got pretty intense. So I was really into that.
All right. Okay.
Kind of reminded me of the rape scene in, or not rape scene, whatever the scene was in Nocturnal Animals, you know, where it's just, like, prolonged intensity.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because, like, obviously at the end is when it's like, and this is what happened.
Yeah.
So you kind of see.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck, I know.
And it does. It goes on, doesn't it? Like.
Yeah, maybe not quite
Grinds
as long as
on you,
Nocturnal Animals,
yeah.
but, you know. So that's the film.
All right. So you're saying it was directed by the writer of the same source material?
Yes, we
sort of
wrote
thing?
wrote Sicario, he wrote Hello High Water, and then he wrote and directed this.
Right, I see.
Mm-hmm.
See, because a lot of times you'll hear that the writers are very precious about their work, sort of thing, so they don't want to cut bits out because they feel like
Well, they
it's
don't get a
important.
choice with movies. With movies, the writer tends to make a script, and then everyone does what they like with it.
Which is why isn't it like a lot of people? Well,
Which might be why he wanted to direct himself.
isn't George Lucas like a good
Go on.
example
we're all
of
ears.
not how to do it? Yeah.
Well, he
Didn't
didn't.
he write?
He wrote the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
fucking awful.
And then didn't he direct?
Yeah, he directed the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah, exactly. So he wrote.
Whereas
and
Empire
directed them.
was
Turned it over.
written and directed by other people. He was just
Yeah.
like a story guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, what's the point with George Lucas?
he wrote and directed. So it's like J.K.
A
Rowling.
better
Like a lot
example
of
would
people.
be Tarantino.
Okay.
Because Tarantino does everything and then it becomes an indulgent mess. Whereas,
from
like,
Jackie
you look
Brown.
at... Yeah, except that one. Which was based on somebody else's source material.
Exactly.
With the Rum Punch book.
And one of his best ones.
And one of his other best ones, I think, is True Romance, which was written by him but directed by Tony Scott.
Oh, there we go.
So, you know...
You need that collaborator because you shave off all the extra bits.
Well, you just get an extra pair of eyes.
Yeah.
To go, nah. And sometimes it doesn't work. and
Well,
they go,
exactly, and that's also what you're saying about this, isn't it? You can have a good writer, but if a bad director, as
He's
in
not a bad director. He's an average director working for
Yeah.
a presumably great script.
but he's got
But
a
he
lot
needs
to
a
live up
great
to.
director
Yeah.
to direct that script and go,
Okay.
no, I like what you're doing there, but we don't need that.
Oh,
There's
well.
one bit which goes fucking nowhere, where like they go to the dead girl's parents' house, and the dad in it.
So it's a big murder mystery and a rape mystery.
Yeah, well yeah.
She died from the cold.
Yeah,
But also the
well,
murder.
I mean she died from the cold, but she was put in the cold by someone.
Is that still considered murder?
No, well yeah, no.
Is it though? Because like,
God,
if
this
I
is
was
like
to
fucking
put,
Saw, isn't it?
yeah, well, sort of, yeah. I mean,
If I put a key in your eye and a bear trap on your head,
You've
I
killed
have
yourself.
technically murdered you.
Yeah.
I think.
no, it's interesting.
Why?
Because if you're put just out in the cold, you could.
Well, she's running away from something.
Yeah, but you
Probably
could.
the rapist.
Maybe we don't know that. Footprints.
Well, I doubt she's chasing after him.
Give me more.
Running 6 miles through the snow after him.
So it's just interesting because you could make a fire, you could warm yourself. You know what I mean?
Well, not if you're running away from
He
someone.
didn't. Well, yeah, maybe. Well, you know,
Or running to get away from something.
yeah. It's just interesting. I think.
Good. Can you tell me what, though?
Which
What is interesting?
the fact that you could be done for murder 3 days after you've seen somebody because they've just gone out into the cold. Where are you going? Into the cold.
Oh, to the cold.
And then died.
Good. I'm glad you find that interesting. The bit that I thought was weird in the film, so she goes to see the dad of the dead person.
Oh yeah, sorry. we're
And
talking
the
about
dad is played by the Native American guy that's Jeff Bridges' partner in Hello High Water.
Oh, I liked him.
It's irrelevant, I just thought I'd throw that fact
That's
in.
fine. Yeah.
No, it's not irrelevant that you liked him. It's irrelevant that is him.
Right.
I didn't want you to think I was being super dismissive of you.
You were, but it's
shut
fine.
up. So they go
What's
to
he
the
like?
dad,
Yeah.
like something like, "Oh, your daughter's dead," and he's like, "Yeah, I know." And she's like, he's a bit more upset than I'm making out. He's a better actor than me. She's like,
Yes,
"Do you mind if we talk to the mum?" And he's like, "Go on then. I don't care." And she's like, "Where is she?" And he's like, "She's in that room. Go on." And it's like all suspicious, and you're thinking like, "Oh, she's dead." Like, you know, because everyone's been like on edge, and she's like, "Well, I'll go in that room then." And then she opens the door, So everyone knows what's going on in that room except her. This is why everyone's like, oh, she's going in the room. And he's like, yeah, go on, talk to her. Go on, see if you can talk to her. So you're thinking she's killed herself. Like, she's just in there dead.
Yeah.
And so Scarlet Witch opens the door, and the mum is in there with a knife just cutting herself over and over again. And then Scarlet Witch is like, and then shuts the door, and everyone's like, fucking told you. Nobody stops her. Nobody's like, we should probably take that knife off her. Everyone's just like, no, she's been like that for like a week.
Still going.
Nobody even
Still
mentions
going
that
strong.
she's cutting herself. Everyone's just like, no, she's in that room. Just doing her thing.
You're making it sound very strange.
It was very strange.
I don't imagine it's as bad as you're saying.
It was worse than I was saying, because I
Really?
saw it, I just described it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so it was an alright film.
Better than
No,
the
it's the
Snowman.
worst. Oh yeah, God Almighty, yeah, millions times better than Snowman.
Okay.
Bye everyone.
Bye bye.